Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Please put your video on if you're just joining. Who's tried circling before out of you? Is it new to most of you? What I most like about circling is the permission it gives just to be with whatever's there. And it's like right now it's a little uncomfortable for me. So I'm like just feeling the heat. I'm like, was Kaisi gonna start speaking first? Have we got the breakouts rooms working? Is everyone able to hear me okay? So it's pretty uncomfortable, I am. And what I love about the practice of circling is that it's always like just so my presence experience is still pretty uncomfortable. It's like part of me wants to run away, part of me feels a bit of shame, part of me feels a lot of heat, part of me feels a bit cheeky. What about you?
Yeah, part of me feels a bit tense. That is everything working?
Part of my mind is like, oh my God, what people are thinking. Maybe they're criticizing this is bad. And then I'm happy to see some people that I know here, which feels warm.
I'm a bit excited, quite a bit of interested to see what is going to happen in a very good way.
I'm wondering if it's only 12 of us. I heard there's like 90 on the list. Or are we not seeing everybody?
There's only 13.
Okay.
It's quite common that there's lots of sign-ups and then a low percentage shows up.
But I'm also happy to see the familiar face.
I have kids here playing Monopoly, so don't want to turn my mic off on. But also I am grateful that I got to come here because I have the running nose and I had to cancel my other event, so I can be here. And I'm plushy as I speak.
Appreciating you daring to share what's really happening.
I feel awkward. I don't know if you can hear me. So I never done this before. This is my first time ever doing this thing. And it feels, I feel scared, awkward, very awkward. But also like, I feel that if I don't say anything, I'm just gonna like explode. There is also pressure to like take the lead, when it's awkward and nobody's speaking. I have this feeling that I have to do something. Yeah. Yeah, there is some pressure to like introduce myself. Yes, I feel like activation in my body, like my leg is going like this. But good that I opened my mouth. Thank you.
Thank you for, again, brave authenticity.
I'm feeling uncomfortable because so many cubics and faces are like they're all watching me. And in real life, maybe it's not that scary. And like something big or something is gonna happen, but nobody knows. So there is this a bit anxiousness or something like that, but in a good way as well.
I feel intrigued. So I've never done circling, but I'm intrigued because of the Zoom element, like how it's working online, because I think it's way more difficult to hold space online and to get people involved. So like I'm already surprised that so many people have talked. So it's an interesting experience. I don't have any fear opening up, but at the same time, I haven't experienced circling. I've heard about it a lot, but I don't know how it will actually be. Like if I would get the feeling uncomfortableness or anything like that. But yeah, I'm also using this time maybe to maybe it goes against the purpose of it, but to crochet a bit because I want to get the doily made for my grandma for Christmas. So I'm multitasking, but I'll be focused when I feel like I can't multitask. So that's where I'm at. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to share anything?
I'm feeling a bit tense. There is not so much people, but still it makes me feel uncomfortable, and also feeling the heat all over my body.
You all kind of illustrated a big part of what circling is about, just speaking what's alive and being with each other with what's there in the moment. I felt touched by all of you, like when you spoke, and just like some relaxation of like our human experience and it feeling true. Like feeling like you're all speaking truthfully, and that feels really nice and relaxing. Someone asked a question in the chat. Are you able to put your video on? Because soon we're probably going to go into breakouts and you'll need your video on for that. Okay.
Speak right now, but I can't put the video on at the moment. I will transfer to my computer and then I can maybe put the video on. But what was the question? Because I got in late, like 15 minutes later than I should have.
The question was just to share what's happening for you, what it's like to be here in the spirit of what circling is about, like speaking what's alive in the moment.
Okay, frankly, I don't really have a great idea about what circling is. That's why I joined. I was interested, I was intrigued. And currently I'm having like remnants of my earlier frustration, so I'm not really tuned in yet.
Thank you.
I think this is great what you shared, Maya. Like even this is like circling the frustration that you had with the technical things.
Yeah, well, it's just that I bought a sweater for my boyfriend for Christmas, and then I left it at home, and when I got back, my two dogs had totally torn it apart, so that was fun. So I had to go and fix that one.
How long do you think before you're able to go on video? Because I'm going to set the groups up now.
About 5 minutes, I think.
Okay.
Maybe it's good we can share some more information about this practice.
Yeah, I also want to introduce Laura and Christina, who lead circling in Tallinn currently and have trained extensively. I wonder if you wanted to add anything.
Add to what exactly?
To this concoction.
Concoction? What's that one?
To this webinar.
Oh. To me, it seems like we're kind of already doing the practice. Like maybe it's a good information for the ones who haven't practiced before. I'm eating chocolate, sorry. Like everybody shared something of their current experience, kind of bring it into the space, show it, others can listen and also take it in at the same time. Very simple thing, but somehow the core of this practice, which makes it running. Kind of like when we bring in our current experience and see how it impacts each other, connection between us, and what can like arise from it, what can it show to us. It usually like starts rolling like to a new place, and we discover things about ourselves and connection.
How are you doing, Christina?
Um, yeah, I'm thinking what I'm feeling. I'm just kind of tuning into everyone, I think. Going one face to face, trying to figure out like what might anyone feel, or how is it to be you at the moment. And I feel also like a bit landing more here. Was also a bit upset about the technical issues. And yeah. Yeah, I feel like landing.
I feel like the commentator of the practice right now. Like when Christina shared her experience, that was again like, oh yeah, this is like again like part of it. Like we had a technical issue with the breakout rooms, and that impacted Christina. And like we have this principle, trusting the experience. Like even this, like when a technical issue is part of this thing, we can probably trust it in some way and see how it impacts us.
I'm interested to hear more of like what's alive now from anyone. I've put you into groups of two. And what I'd like you to do when you go into your room of two is to treat it a bit like a meditation. That's one of the simplest ways to think about circling, is like, okay, can I make room and space for what's alive in me? And then can I also hear what's alive in other people and like include that in my meditation as well? So when you're with your partner, you could close your eyes some of the time and just notice what you're experiencing. But then see what happens when you're looking at your partner as well, and you're just together. Like, see if you can track everything that comes up in you. And then, like we have been, if you want to share at any time with each other, just let your partner know what's happening. And try not to get into a conversation about it. Like, the conversation is just revealing, and then the other person, you really try and receive and listen to what's being said to you. And then when you feel moved, yeah, oh, now I'm feeling more relaxed, or whatever it is. So you kind of go on a journey together of presence. And whenever you feel like speaking to what's alive in you, you can. Does that give you enough to have a go, explore? Any questions? I'll give you about 5 minutes. You don't need to join the one that you're in.
Yeah, but then Mayo is out. Okay, there are two people out.
I should be in breakout room 5, but I just pushed the wrong button.
If you go down to breakouts, you should be able to rejoin.
How?
Is there a break?
Because I came out,
On-
I didn't read, and I just clicked and it kicked me out.
Yeah, it's you have to. It's on the breakout room section. I don't know if it's in the more on the bottom, or if there's a icon that says breakout rooms.
Yep, I got it.
They found the solution.
Should we stop recording? Oh.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
What?
Christina. It didn't work, or it kicked you out somehow.
She's in there now.
Okay.
You could have stayed in a little longer, but it's fine. The others will be back in about 20 seconds. Welcome back. Would any of you like to share how that was for you? Or you could type it in the chat a little bit so that everyone can see.
I found it very peaceful and like relaxed. But one thing that I had that I felt within myself that I needed to kind of like hold myself back was not to ask questions, because if my partner shared, the like initial reaction is to ask more, to dig deeper, to ask like, why are you feeling like that? Tell me more. Blah, 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 blah. So like to concentrate on not doing that and actually like understanding how I'm feeling. So that was interesting to notice.
Yeah, that can be especially interesting for coaches and therapists who are used to exploring the other person more, to really stay with what's alive in them can be revealing. And there are practices in circling where you do get to inquire into the other person as well.
Eventually, I felt more safe just with one person. But now I feel better with you all as well. Like more connected, but I didn't connect with you all.
For me, it was nice to see Shirley because I know her from here and there. But it was interesting also when I told about what's going on in me, and I understood that I'm always the clock is behind to give the word to her as well. So at one point I stopped and said, okay, now you. So the time frame was in my head. It was interesting because it was all the time there, like ticking.
Right. And did you share that?
No, not exactly. At one point, I told her to share because otherwise the time will be off, and she has no time to share. So that I shared.
I felt a little bit safer to be like in the room, just the two of us, but still quite like quite, I think, still very activating because all my fears of like connecting with people, all of it is like totally flooding in this moment right now. And maybe like feeling comparison, seeing when somebody is feeling very comfortable in this practice, and then like feelings of inadequacy about my own like uncomfortableness with like because it's like a very intimate thing to like connect with people, and it's not easy for me. But I did it feel nice to share with her, with my partner. Yeah.
Thanks for the vulnerability. It also resonates a bit with what I have been feeling in this call, of like almost feeling flooded with shame or awkwardness or
Yeah, it does feel good to share this vulnerability. And we were also discussing that doing this over Zoom is like it's quite safe for me that I'm in my own home, like in my own space, and that looking at somebody in the eyes physically when you are, with them physically is a really like a very intimate thing that I shared, that I feel in many well, they do this eye gazing practice a lot, and I just recently like realized that, whoa, I'm not comfortable doing that, and it's okay, like it's not to do it with just random people,
Does anyone else want to share an experience? I'm curious.
I can speak. Strangely for me, I would actually prefer to be in the same and look people in the straight in the eye, like, and because I get so much more information from room when I'm with people. I get like I sense things in my own body. I kind of have the sensors. Feel people better when I'm in the same room. I hate Zoom things because I can't read people as well. So I would have preferred if we had sat in a room somewhere with like candles and stuff, and everybody would be vulnerable in that way. But I can perfectly understand if it's not. And I come from a background of social phobia. I used to have when I was much younger.
I'm again appreciating the vulnerability, or the sharing of that. I'd like to put you in pairs again and actually lead a practice over the voiceover, and start off eyes closed, doing a kind of meditation, and then lead that into open eyes and being together and then sharing a little. So I'll put you in a breakout room again and then join. There'll be one group of 3. You can do it together as a 3. And just start with eyes closed, and then you'll hear me and go from there. So close your eyes and just spend a bit of time becoming close with what you're experiencing. Like, what's it like to be you in this moment? I can feel like my heart's opening a little bit and I'm relaxing a little bit. I'm also still a bit activated from all of this. But what about you? What's your energy like now? And can you allow what you're experiencing anymore? Can you kind of give it permission anymore? And shortly I'll invite you to open your eyes. And the idea is just to notice what changes in your experience when you come into contact with your partner. And you're welcome to close your eyes again at any time to stay close with yourself. And then maybe open them again and be with your partner and just see what shifts in your experience. So I invite you to do that now, to open your eyes and just be in silence together. And just notice what happens in you. Like, does your breathing change in some way, or do you feel different emotions? Yeah, what's it like to be you now that you're in contact with this other person? And again, is there any way you can allow yourself to be as you are in this moment anymore? And now you can put your attention more on your partner. Like, what do you, again, still in silence, but what do you notice about your partner? What do you imagine they're experiencing? As a unique person across from you, what do you imagine it's like for them? And then you can play with bringing the attention back more to yourself, or like, oh yeah, what's happening in me now? And then, do you think there's a sense of connection between you? Like, are you sharing something right now? Do you think you have a shared experience in any way? And now just explore the possibility of moving. You don't have to move, but maybe just the thought of like, oh yeah, do I feel comfortable to move right now, might take you a bit closer to yourself, or let you know what's happening in you even more. And now, when you're ready, you can share with each other how this has been for you. Like, what have you been through these last few minutes? Take it in turns to share. I'll give you a few minutes all together to all share what this was like. You've got 1 more minute now to complete the sharing.
I pushed the wrong button.
Oh, no worries. The others will be back in about 50 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be here in a few seconds. Welcome back. Please, can you type in the chat how that was for you or what you're left with, just so that we get kind of an overview of how you're all doing. Feel free to share verbally as well if you'd rather do that.
I share verbally, it's easier. We were first with Christina, and then wait, let me, I was scrolling for the names. Maria joined us as well, and that confused me. I was with her before, but it was just like, it was difficult to concentrate on two people, and also like Christina's face was big, and then Maria's was small, and like, I want to connect with Christina, and it was like already a connection happening, but then I was like, wait, there's Maria as well, so I was trying to like include her in this little picture, so I struggled a bit, but otherwise it was like I think no big emotions or anxiousness or anything like that. So overall it was comfortable, but it was just a weird dynamic, I would say.
I was happy to notice how good I felt when I closed my eyes. And I was also positively amazed a bit that I am open, even though I don't like want to, but if I say to myself, can you connect with them? Then I'm able to.
And I also realized that, John, your voice is very soothing, and it was very soothing when my eyes were closed and we were talking as well. I was like, wave. Yeah.
For me as well, it felt like the universe is talking somewhere, and it would be nice when everyday life, when I go and like talk to people, then the universe is talking the same words. So I'm like really present. But I really enjoyed it. I felt very, very much myself. It was calm. It was peaceful. It was nice when Christian smiled. He was the first one who smiled, and it just was mirroring from my face back to him. Like I really like started to shine. So it gave me this feeling like how important it is for us to smile, because it just reflects back to us. It was good to be like the vaatleja eesti keeles in Estonian. Observer, yes. It was nice to feel this observing way. And also it got me closer to the screen because you said that maybe you have to move. Before I was like somewhere here all the time, but now it just got me closer to the screen.
I'm closer to the screen now as well.
I just want to share like my current or also overall experience in this group is like, for some reason I'm very proud of everybody sharing their very like vulnerable or private feelings, or it's like everybody seems very brave to me. That makes me proud somehow.
Yeah, I noticed when we were in that last group that I really didn't want to connect. I was like better like closed off, and I was even like putting like an energetic kind of bubble or a boundary around. Yeah, it's really like bringing up a lot of stuff for me. This practice, yeah, it's not easy at all. Yeah. It's putting my nervous system in fight or flight, I feel like all this anxiousness and activation, and there is some irritation there as well. So that's like, I know that yeah, it's totally like danger signals are going off. And well, I know this about myself already a long time, that this is how I am. And I guess it's good to, I don't know, share about this. Yeah, to share, because not to be ashamed about it. I think that's the main kind of a benefit of it. But it's, yeah, with new people connecting is it's very hard. Yeah. Thanks.
Again, get touched by like the truth and the vulnerability, like the paradox of you saying it's very hard to connect, and yet in you sharing that, I feel deeply connected with what you're saying.
I was enjoying a lot the silence, and indeed, John, you have a very good voice on carrying just being there on the presence, which was very, very nice. It was very soothing and calming. When the process started, yeah, it's easy kind of to lose the connection with yourself and to start concentrating for the connection itself for myself, which I didn't notice maybe even when it started, but when I started to think about the process, I kind of understood for myself that my thoughts were about how the connection is being made, not like what I'm actually feeling or so. So I just decided to smile to see what it brings. It was quite cool how Jana was reacting to it. So also felt warm that like she was smiling as well. But I find it still rather challenging to open up through the screen, because for me this screen still is COVID times, and it's like I already having contact with somebody through the screen somehow is bringing up some of the stress that is not related to that connection at all. Yeah, and but then actually we had a very like warm opening together, and then I pushed the wrong button and we lost each other, which but it was what it was.
I'd like to guide you through one more practice. Also want to check with you, Maria, and maybe anyone else, like maybe you're welcome not to join if it feels better not to.
What is it about? Then I can decide if I maybe want to skip out.
It'll be very similar.
Yeah, that's actually maybe good. I will skip this one just
Okay,
to like rest a bit.
sure. I'll do my best to do a calming voice again. But you can start with your eyes closed again in silence, and yeah, a chance to become intimate with yourself right now. Like what's it like to be you? What's your energy like? What's your breath like? How's your mental activity? Do you feel the force of gravity kind of grounding you? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and be in silence together. Remember, you can close your eyes whenever you want as well, just to stay close to yourself. And what's the flavor of this connection for you? It can be a little bit like wine tasting. And maybe at first most people taste the same, but after a while you notice all kinds of different flavors. Like what happens in you in this connection with this person? Like what comes alive in you, if anything? And do you sense a connection with this person in any way? Does it feel like you're connected? And if not, like what tells you that? What in your experience gives you that information? And from now on, it's going to be like the first exercise where you just try and share what's happening for you in the moment. So you can just stay silent, but if you're going to speak, it's not a normal conversation or talking about the past, but just see if you can share what's happening for you in that moment. And then your partner can hear that and see how they're impacted by that, and then maybe they share what's happening in them. But try to keep it quite short, so you're just trying to let people know what's there for you. Last minute or so now. Maybe there's one last thing you want to share about what's happening in you, or maybe you want to share what you sense in the other person and see if that resonates for them. You could share something like, oh, this is what I sense in you. Is that true? Welcome back. I'd like to open it up now to shares about that, but also questions about the practice. I mean, this is obviously just a little taster. This is like 10 or 15% of the kind of range of practices that we work with. But yeah, curious how your experience was, and if you have any broader questions.
With this last session, I finally managed to settle my head a bit down, or there was a little bit fewer tension in my head. So I kind of dropped into the heart better. So it lasted for me, I don't know, more than 1 hour to get relaxed. But the last session felt very long. I don't know if it was long, but it felt very long. And the tension that kind of melted down, it started to come up again when the time was passing.
I like the comparison of wine tasting. It's like you can get a taste of people's energy and then feel it and sense it, and in a kind of like a environment that is meant for it. I love that. I think it was a very cool parallel. But I'm not sure about the practice, to be honest, for myself. It was my first time. In a way, I understand why it's why it can be super, super beneficial and great. But at the same time, I felt that, or maybe that's the thing to share, like, because I felt so comfortable throughout the whole way, then in the last break room, I felt like I sensed that my partner is not feeling too comfortable. And then I had like a pressure, like, okay, should I also not feel comfortable? Because like, is there something that, you know, I want to kind of, I have this thing that I want to always get something or improve. So I'm like, should I feel uncomfortable to get better? And like things like that. So I feel that maybe it's I would say, like, I would definitely be interested to come again, but at the same to this practice, I mean, but at the same time, I feel that maybe it's I usually don't have problem connecting to people. I don't have problem talking my mind. So I think I'm kind of circling all the time in this sense anyway. Obviously not all the time, but like maybe more in regular basis. So yeah, but very interesting. And I would be interested in listening to your meditations if you have any.
Did you reveal that thing to your partner about the maybe wanting to make yourself more uncomfortable?
I did, but we ran out of time, so it was very like in the end.
That's one of the things I like about these practices, is that they can kind of reveal these subtle patterns that we often have going on that are running without us even knowing. And we often get more consciousness on them, and then more we get to see the impact of them. And often there's like a win-win opportunity to like drop that thing, which is more relieving, and then it's also more connective. But yeah, I hear you, and I'm glad that that you're comfortable to speak authentically.
Me and this other person, we were just sitting in silence, because he didn't say we have to share, and then it was 1 minute. and it was so much to share, but we ran out of time. But I had very good like inner therapy, and I kind of didn't feel the other person's present, but I felt she was there. So this inner journey couldn't happen me alone. So it was nice, and as well, long time. It was long, but so many things happened, and it's funny if I have to remember what you were saying in this session or the last one. I don't remember anything. Only now the wine example, but yeah, it's funny, like the words just disappear, or I don't know.
It's strange to hear that when my partner told that she didn't felt like I am present or like I'm away, because then in me like starts someone talking like, what I was, who starts to like saying all these things like for kaitse, for
Protection.
yeah, for protection, like and this is so my thing that to see this this thing, because myself I felt like I'm very intense, and also I felt like at one point I guess she was right, because I'm going to her experience like, I wonder what she is feeling. So I go out of me to her. So it's also one thing I try to manage every day. Not, but at the same time, I am observer and seeing everything in myself as well. So it's funny to be on both sides and the dialogue in me.
One of the other practices we do is what's called a birthday circle, where one person gets the attention of, say, 4 or 5 people, and the practice is to be with that person in their world, just in the moment. So the opening question might be, what's it like to be you right now while you're receiving this attention from the group? And the idea is not to try to change the person in any way or fix them or guide them in a particular direction. It's just to share what comes up and like how we're impacted in an embodied way, being with them, and to try to understand them and try to get what it's like to be them in this moment more fully. And that's quite profound, because it's rare to have a kind of non-goal oriented process, and it's amazing what transformation can come through that, but also just the profoundness to see people in their innocence quite quickly often happens. And Christina is leading a circle on Boxing Day. Is that right, Christina? on the 26th of December. You're leading, and if anyone wants to experience it in person. And Laura leads regularly. I think we'll send you this information on email. I'm coming in a few weeks to start a 6-month training there as well. Is there any other final shares or questions?
I liked what who was it? I can't remember. I can't find the name. But the person who said that it's interesting to notice how the attention or the focus goes to the other person quite like automatically, and then you're like, oh, but how I'm feeling. I think that's something to take away from this as well, because like in so many cases, it's I think the natural way to do. So yeah, thank you for pointing this out. I also resonated with that.
Perhaps as a way to close together, you could just type 1 or 2 words in the chat with what you're leaving with, like what you're feeling as you complete this, or how it's been, or
Can I share it also with voice?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel a little bit stuck. Like, I don't know. Not sure what kind of experience you got here. Like, it's probably like micro what I have experienced during this journey, and there's some kind of like a wish to explain more or give more some guidance, but I can't. So I just encourage you to trust the instinct, like if it's for you or not.
Yeah, I like that show. I feel similarly of like wanting to convey something and not being able to fully, and yeah.
Yeah, and I want to thank everybody for showing up, for being vulnerable, and really hoping to see you in circles that happen in Tallinn.